Yo! Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to share my story on how I learned to generate repeat business by watching my old boss when I worked at the auto body shop. To share a little bit about myself, before I started working at the shop and invested 7 years of my life into learning every single aspect of what it takes to successfully run a business. I can say that I was fortunate enough to be self-aware of what I wanted to do or pursue at a young age. I always liked anything car related and was passionate about modding cars or just detailing my car on the weekend whenever I had time. I know a lot of people that share with me about their own experience going through college and finding their own identity and passions. The question that everyone always asks is, how did I know this was what I wanted to do long term, or did I ever change my mind and wanted to pursue another field? Let me give you guys some background information about this specific project. The owner of the car is Ben. I met him back in 2018 when he just bought his brand new Honda Fit at that time. The color of the car was black, of course. It looks really good when perfected, but a pain in the ass to perfect and maintain. He found me on Yelp, and after talking with me, he decided on doing a paint correction and ceramic coating to protect his car. I will share a bit more specific and personal information about this in a bit. But fast forward 2 years to 2020, Ben bought another new car, which is a 2020 Honda HR-V in blue color this time. He reached out to me and wanted me to perform the same services on his new car, just like the previous one. So I'll stop right here for now, and I'll get back to my story about my old boss, and I will come back to this in a little bit. Alright, let's get back to the first story with my old boss. Now you guys know a little bit more about me. Let's continue with what I learned. I was this young man, age 20. I was really happy and proud of myself that someone hired me. No, it wasn't my first job, but it was my first full-time job. You know that feeling you get when you accomplished a life-changing event or experience that made you believe, wow, I'm an adult now. That was pretty much it for me once I got hired. It was my first year working at the body shop, and I couldn't really offer much in terms of previous relevant work experience. At this time, I only had 2 years of self-experience by buying and testing detailing products, as well as learning from multiple auto detailing forums. I had some knowledge. I knew the basic standard procedures of cleaning the exterior and interior of a car, but other than that, I never worked at an auto body shop before. I was strictly hired as a car washer and car mover to move cars from department to department at the time of my hire. Now that I was employed, that was the first step of my business plan. I needed to make money to use to start up and invest back into my own business. In the beginning, it was strictly just buying new products and building up the tools in my arsenal. During my first year working there, due to me not having much experience in general, I just listened and did everything my boss asked without questioning it. I was still young at that time, and I wanted to absorb in everything within my new environment. I didn't have a good understanding of the production process yet, so I didn't know who was doing the right things and who wasn't doing the right things and bullshitting me. I couldn't tell the difference yet, to be honest. After I finished my first year, I began to have a good basic understanding of all the different departments and how it flows and connects from one department one department to the next. As I finished my first year, I pretty much just stuck with washing 5 to 10 cars a day, and I got really good at it, as in my efficiency, my speed, and the quality of my work. I still haven't gotten an opportunity to do or learn anything else yet at this time. One thing that caught my attention immediately was the shop had two buildings right across from each other, and they already been in business for over 35 years. In my head, I'm thinking, damn, this shop is huge. It's been successful for a long ass time. That got me thinking, I need to find out what my boss is doing to have stayed in business for a long period of time. So I thought, okay, wherever he goes, I'm right behind him. Whatever he does, I'm watching him like a hawk. Now, my boss wasn't always in the shop 8 hours a day. One day he might come in for an hour, next day he might come in for a couple hours, the day after that he might just pop in and out and leave after his errands. I had no idea what his work schedule was. But when he was in the shop, I would watch how he interacts with his staff and employees, as well as his customers. I could tell some of the customers were either friends or repeat customers because of their body language, and it's a much more relaxed vibe, kind of joking around and just having a good time with the interaction. Now that I'm aware of these two areas, I began to hone in on it and practice by talking to my coworkers, talking to my team members as the team leader, and communicating with every single customer that drove or walked in through the front door. I practiced and practiced these two areas for over 7 years, and I finally mastered it. These two areas were extremely important, but that can't be it, right? There has to be something else he's doing that I did not pick up on yet. I continued to follow him and I continued to watch him. I noticed something else. Let's say, for example, a car came in with some damage and the customer is really sad or upset that the car got damaged. If it was something that could be fixed or improved within, let's say, 30 minutes, my boss would either ask me or someone else to fix it or improve it. This varied from superficial scuffs or scrapes that required cleaning, polishing, and touching up. Or a bumper was dented in and we were able to pop it back out. We pretty much took care of anything that we could immediately make a difference or an impact. There's a ton of things that I can share with you guys, but let's save some for next time and use these three variables for now. How did I apply these three variables to my own business? Every interaction that either starts by a phone call or in person is an opportunity for us to show our true personality and allows us to give the right information to let the customer make a good, educated decision. When I met Ben in person, I didn't care about making a sale. I did not focus on that aspect. All I wanted to do was to help him check all panel gaps to make sure it was in spec and to take paint readings to make sure the car was never hit before. My interaction was genuine and I never gave off a desperate vibe that I needed to sell myself to persuade him to purchase my services. The value he got from just talking to me was something that he appreciated. He sensed that I cared about his car just as much as he does. This vibe I gave off goes a long way to put the customer at ease and earn their trust. Eventually, we became really good friends, and every time he would drop by, we just talked and catch up like old friends would do. Because I was able to practice interacting with my coworkers and customers on a daily basis, I know when I need to be serious by solely focusing on work and when I can joke around and have a fun time. There's a fine line between being professional and just being yourself. People usually come to me because they have a problem that needs to be taken care of. And there's nothing wrong with being yourself by being friendly, charismatic, and a likable person. There's a time and place for everything. So I had to learn by experimenting when I need to be professional or when I can be myself and just talk about anything to get to know each other more. You need to master both. You won't be able to develop deep, lasting relationships without one or the other. They both go hand in hand. If you come off as too professional, you're doing your job, but you could come off as kind of stiff and not being 100% yourself. If you come off as a non-professional personality, then customers will most likely not take you seriously, begin to doubt your knowledge and skills, and could project a bad first impression. So it's best to use both. That way you are positioning yourself as a professional and you're talking to them like another human being as well. How you take care of your customer after their first experience is equally as important. So you guys know for paint correction, ceramic coating, post care is everything to keep it looking as perfect as day one. That means using the right products, tools, techniques to not reinstill damage back onto the paint. But sometimes in life, no matter how hard you try to avoid problems or setbacks, or try your best to come up with a plan, shit happens along the way. Ben parks his car under a carport. It's not garaged, but better than nothing. The car is still exposed to elements. Sometimes when he comes in for maintenance washes, I see water spot issues or new scratches appeared or other issues that needs to be addressed. I will let Ben know what I found and what I used to take care of it to make it look like day one again. It's these little things or actions that I do that shows him my true intentions. Talk is cheap. You gotta back it up by taking action. And if you guys remember what I said earlier about my boss doing little things here and there to make a difference or impact, what I'm doing is exactly the same thing. I see a problem and I'm doing everything I can to make the customer feel appreciated for their return business. I have been using and testing CarPro coatings long term ever since 2010. They were one of the top 3 pioneers at the time. Good, consistent products and continuous innovation to improve customer experience. I will be using Flyby 30 for glass, C Quartz 3.0, UK for the paint, and Deluxe for all of the plastic trim areas. I'm not sure what happened, but I forgot to film the end results. Sorry about that. But somehow I did take some photos using my DSLR. I hope these photos can portray how well the project turned out. If you guys enjoy these business operation content videos, I need you guys to smash the like button, drop a comment, or leave a question, and hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video.